In today's video, we are going to continue the work in section 3.2. We're going to continue solving systems of linear equations algebraically. So in the first video, we talked about substitution and elimination. Today, we're going to use those same methods with word problems. So as you can see, there are 4 steps to any word problem, and I want us to follow these steps every time. You always need to define your variables, write your equations, solve, and then write a sentence explaining your answer. That sentence is important. You need to explain what your answer means in the context of the problem. Today's video, we're going to do some examples together, and then you're going to do an example or two on your own. So if we look at this first example, you are selling tickets to a football game. Student tickets cost $4 and general admission tickets cost $7. You sell 213 tickets and collect $1,146. How many of each type of ticket did you sell? You must define variables, set up a system, and solve algebraically. Then write a sentence to explain the meaning of your answers in context of the problem. Okay, so first thing we have to do, our step from above, is to define our variables. In order to figure out what your variables are, we need to look at the question. So the question is, how many of each type of ticket? So how many of each type of ticket? That tells us what we're looking for. So I'm going to use variables x and y. You can use a and b, m and n, whatever you want your tickets, whatever you want your variables to be. So our 2 tickets, we have student tickets and we have general admission tickets. Please don't write x equals student tickets. What about the student tickets am I looking for? I'm looking for how many. So x is the number of student tickets sold. And y is the number of general admission tickets sold. Okay, so that was our first step. Step 2, we need to write our equations. In this case, 2 variables. That tells us that we are going to need 2 equations. 2 variables, we're going to need 2 equations. So we need to look at what information we have been given. We have been given the number of tickets that are sold. We've also been given the amount of money. So here are 2 equations, one for the amount of tickets and one for the amount of money. We're going to start with the amount of money. Each student ticket, which is x, got us $4. So if we do 4 times x, that's all the money the student tickets brought in. Each admissions ticket, general admission ticket, got us $7. So 7y will tell us all the money that the general admission tickets came in. When we add those together, we should get 1,146. Now this is only one equation. We can't solve for x and y yet. We need another one. That's where our 213 tickets came in. So we're going to have equals 213. On the left side, I have x tickets sold, and I have y general admissions tickets. So here's my system. That's step 2. So now we need to solve. We have a variety of options. We could do substitution. We can do elimination. We are not going to solve by graphing though. Because I can easily solve for x and y in the second equation, I'm going to use substitution. I'm going to solve for x, so I'm going to subtract y. So I get x equals 213 minus y. And then if you remember, that needs to go into the first equation, not the second equation again. We need to use the other equation. So in the first equation, I have 4. I'm going to substitute for x. Plus 7y is equal to 1,146. So instead of x, I'm going to put in 213 minus y. As you can see at this point, you're going to need a calculator. So if you don't have your calculator handy, please pause the video, go grab your calculator, and come back. So at this point, I can distribute my 4, and I get 852 minus 4y plus 7y is equal to 1,146. Negative 4y and positive 7y gives me 3y. If I take that 1,146 and subtract 852, I get 294. Dividing by 3, I get 98. Now remember, we are not finished. We still need to find x. We have a variety of options for finding x. We can use this equation, or if we're really tricky, we can use this one. So I'm going to use that last equation because it's x equals. So our x is going to be 213 minus 98. Our x ends up being 115. Now, we are not finished. Please don't stop here. We still need to answer the question. So I'm going to say I sold 115 student and 98 general admission tickets. So for every word problem, you're going to need to write a sentence explaining your answer. Let's flip to the next page to do another example together. Example 2, Trudy bought 2 packs of paper and 3 notebooks for $6. Tom bought 6 packs of paper and 4 notebooks for $13. How much does each pack of paper cost, and how much does each notebook cost? You must define variables, set up a system, and solve algebraically. Okay, so we've already talked about step 1, defining our variables. Read the question. Whatever the question is that's being asked, that'll be your variables. So how much does each pack of paper cost, and how much does each notebook cost? Okay, so that tells us we're looking at paper and notebook, specifically their costs. So I'm going to use x and y again. You can use different variables if you would like. For x, don't just write paper or pack of paper. I will not give you credit for that. What about the paper are we looking for? The cost. So for x, I'm going to say this is a cost of a pack of paper. Y is the cost of a notebook. Okay, so that was step 1. Step 2 is to write our system. We're given 2 pieces of information, Trudy and what she bought, and then we have Tom and what he bought. So we're going to have one equation for Trudy and one equation for Tom. Trudy bought 2 packs of paper. So each pack of paper cost X dollars. Each notebook costs Y. So that's the cost of the packs of paper in the notebook. When we add them together, she spent $6. Similar idea for Tom. Tom bought 6 packs of paper. So that's how much he spent on paper. 4 notebooks. That's how much he spent on notebooks. When we add them together, Tom spent a total of $13. Okay, so this is our system. At this point, we can solve. We can use substitution or elimination. I think elimination is our better option here. We can't easily solve or get x or y alone without some nasty fractions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to eliminate those x's. So I notice I have a 6x. Top equation then, I needed a negative 6x. So I'm going to multiply by negative 3. Remember to multiply everything in the top equation by negative 3. So we get negative 6x minus 9y is equal to negative 18. Bottom equation stays the same. And we add. In this case, our x's cancel, which is what we were trying for. Negative 9y and 4y gives us negative 5y is equal to negative 5. Y is equal to 1. Okay, now I need to find x. I have a few different options. I can use this top equation in green, bottom equation in red. I'm going to decide to use the green equation. So I get 2x plus 3 times y is equal to 6. If I subtract the 3, I get 2x equals 3. So my x is equal to 3 over 2, or 1.5. Okay, I am not finished. Please remember, we need to write a sentence. So x is 1.5. That means each pack of paper costs $1.50, and each notebook costs $1. Okay, example 3. Example 3, you are going to try. So this is one that I would like you to do. Take a minute, pause the video, try this problem on your own, and come back when you are ready. Okay, we are not going to go through this one together, but what I am going to tell you is you should have found that there are 8 5-point problems. So you should have gotten 8 for one of the variables. There are 8 5-point problems. When you turn this set of notes in, you need to have this problem done. If you do not have this problem done, you will not get full credit. If you did not get 8 as your answer, go back through your work and see if you can find your mistake. At this point, this is the end of the required part of the video. So you should have problems 1, 2, and 3 fully complete before you turn the notes in. There's one more example, so if you would like to stay on and go through one more example, we're going to do that right now. Example 4. This is one we're going to do together. Amazon is having a sale on its DVDs. They are selling some of the newer DVDs for $10.50 and the older book goodies for $8.50. When you go to checkout online, you notice that you bought 10 DVDs for a total of $93. How many DVDs of each type did you buy? So defining our variables, we look at the question, how many DVDs of each type? So that tells us we're looking for number of, in this case, newer DVDs and older DVDs, specifically the number that we purchased. There are 2 totals that we are given. We know that we bought 10 DVDs for $93. So we're going to have one equation for the number of DVDs and one for the money. For the number of DVDs, I bought X new DVDs, Y old DVDs, total, that gives me 10. And now I'm ready to write my second equation for money. So I've spent a total of $93. Those newer DVDs cost $10.50. So $10.50x is the amount of money I spent on the new DVDs. And then those oldie but goodies, I spent $8.50 each. So that's $8.50y. Now I'm ready to solve. Again, I can use substitution or elimination. I notice the top equation, it's easy to solve for x or y, so that's what I'm going to do and use substitution. Top equation, I'm going to solve for y, so I'm going to subtract x. I get y to be 10 minus x. And then if we remember, that needs to be substituted into the second equation, not back into the first, into the second equation. So second equation, I get 1050x plus 850y equals 93. Remember though, we need to put in the expression for y, which is 10 minus x. And now we're ready to solve. I'm going to distribute that 850. So 1050x minus 850x is 2x. If I subtract 85 from both sides, 93 minus 85 will give me 8. So then x equals 4. Now if we're looking to find y, we can use the green equation, the red equation, or the y equation. I'm going to use that y equation. So my y is equal to 10 minus x. My y is equal to 6. Again, I need to write a sentence, so I can say, I bought 4 newer and 6 older DVDs. So I hope that helped. If you have any questions, please make sure that you write them down and bring them to class next time I see you.